Right, so the next stage that I want to get to, that I placed all my mouse shapes in the symbol in the main scene, right? And now I'm going to import audio into the library. And that's actually fairly simple. What I'm using, the audio I'm using for this is the from the 11-Second Club, which is a great contest online where anybody can join the contest. It's sponsored by Animation Mentor, which is an online animation school. But anybody can join, and you can do 2D, 3D, stop motion. I've seen a lot of varieties in terms of what you can do for animation. But I'm going to use the audio from that to create the character for this lip sync. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Import, and import into Library. I don't want to import to the stage at this point, but I'm going to import to the library first. And I'm going to select one of the competitions here, one of the audio. And I had already imported it, so I'm just actually going to replace it. So if I go to the library, you can actually see I have this 11-Second Club. It's an April competition for the 11-Second Club. And I'm going to create a new track for it. I'm actually going to move it down here to the bottom and call it audio. And then I'm going to drag this audio right into the scene. Now it doesn't show up like any other kind of graphic symbol because it's not. It's a piece of audio, right? But I do, once this is here, I'm going to select the very first frame of this. Right, I've got to make sure that I'm selecting the audio. Since you can't select it out here, I'm just selecting the track in the frame. And when I do that, in the Properties panel, it's going to show me the frame, because that's what I'm selecting the frame. Right, it's going to show me the frame section, and if the sound is not open, just click the little arrow to open it up. It's going to show you what the name of the audio is. Right, you can add effects to it, but the important thing is I set it to stream. The sync is set to stream. If I set it to anything else, when I play it on the timeline, you're not going to hear it. So if I play it through now, you're going to hear some of that audio. Now, the big thing is you do need to have your timeline set to the same length of the audio. In this case, I know it's around 11 seconds. So I am going to kind of extend my timeline here. And I'm going to go a little beyond 11 seconds, and I'm going to right-click and insert frame. All right. And I can see exactly where it ends. And so I'm going to go all the way here to the end. And I'm going to kind of chop off some of the frames. So I just have exactly the number of frames that I need. So I'm just going to go there, right click, and I'm going to remove frames. All right, so now I know that my timeline is exactly the length of my audio. Now it might appear that the character is moving its lips to the audio, but they're not, right? It's just rotating through the symbol, all the different symbols, all the mouse shapes in the symbol. So the next thing I do is I select. And actually, I'm going to go back, since I'm kind of going through every one of these steps. I imported audio into the library, and then I added the library, created a new layer for the audio, and set the audio to stream. And then the next step is using the lip sync, the auto lip sync, to assign the Visine mouth shapes, right? These mouth shapes to the audio. So I'm going to go over here. I've selected the symbol on the scene or on the stage, and I'm going to go to lip syncing. And then you're going to see it pulls up all these Visines for these mouth positions, right? But it's all the default. You notice that. So I'm going to click neutral. And when you do that, it's saying which one do you want to assign to the neutral position. And since I labeled them, it's going to make it easy. So it's saying frame 1 is the rest, right? So I labeled it as rest. So that's the neutral position. The AH, I labeled it AH. So you can see it's frame 2. But since I labeled it, you can see the label there, which is kind of cool. The D, the E, the F, the L, the M, the OH, the R, the S, the UH, and the woo sound, right? And again, some of these have, sort of the lips and the mouth, but you get the point. You'll see it when we do this, and you can always make adjustments to it later. So I click done. And by the way, if you set this up once, you can just do it again. Like if you change some of the mouse shapes or you want to kind of reinterpret, you just do that again. You select the mouth shape, or you select the symbol on the scene, and then you go to lip syncing and you assign it that shape, right? So, and it'll just reset it. It reevaluates it. And now we're going to run it through.
Me? Those days are long behind me. I don't think I've held a balloon since I was a child.
Then you've forgotten what it's like
To hold a balloon?
to be a child.
So a couple things to think about in this is there are two characters talking in the audio, right? I've got this one character doing every single part. build a second character for this project, what you can do, you get to the point where that other character is talking, right? And I can actually take out some of these sounds, right? I could just insert blank keyframes, or I can go through, I've got this audio section. If you play this through,
And you've forgotten what it's like.
right? So this is where this is our character one. And so if this character were the one talking and I had a different character doing the other one, I can bring that over. So all I have to do is go through, and in this section, right, I'm going to go to, wherever this next character is talking from when this one stops, right? I'm going to take this out. So I have to just I'm going to go to here, and I can just clear keyframes, right? And then it's going to hold whatever is here. And then if I want, like say somewhere in here, I want the character to have a different mouth shape, right? So I just position to, because the character's not talking right now. And then maybe right here, I don't want that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the object, right? You'll see that in the properties panel, I go to object, and you go to frame picker, and I can just choose the rest position for that, right? And set that as that position.
And you've forgotten what
And it's
it's
going to
like.
hold it for that.
And you've forgotten what it's like.
That's where that other character is talking, and that's where I'm going to hold it, right? That's where this character is holding. So then when I go back to the very beginning, actually I'm going to go all the way here, and I'm going to play.
Me? Those days are long behind me. I don't think I've held a balloon since I was a child.
And you've forgotten what it's like.
Right. So the character, when one character is talking, I have this character. It's the first character talking. The next character, the other character that's talking, I don't want this one's lips to move. Maybe somewhere just to kind of express something. But then I should show the other character and have it talking, right? So then if I continue on.
To hold a balloon.
To be a child.
Right. So at that end, to be a child, right? Even in here, I'd want to kind of clear all these frames out, right? And then clear keyframe, right? And I use the frame picker again, go to object, go to the frame picker, and I'm going to choose that rest position, right? And it's going to set that rest position
To be a child.
where the other character is talking. And that's how you set it up. So what I'd end up doing is putting in another character, and I could actually switch back and forth. I can make it look like, the camera's cutting from one character to the next. I could have this character there. But again, I would flush out all the details of the character. I would add eyes, and I can just do this through symbols. So, the same thing where I added a nose, what I'll end up doing eventually is moving those parts to the rest. And I'll do that in the next video.